Hello, guys, and welcome back to another edition of Baseball Talk with your brothers. And today, got a fun one here. I wanted to kind of come up with a fun look ahead to 2026 video where we're going to take a look at 5 teams that I think will win more games in 2026 than they will in 2025. I have now, most of these teams were not very good last year. Matter of fact, I think they top out at 83 wins, the 5 teams that I'm going over for today. So these are teams that I think were like under 500 last year that could take a step in the right direction, get a get to 500 or above 500, or win 88 to 90 games. So we do have a decent amount of different things here. Couple honorable mentions before we get into the video for 2 teams that I thought were going to win more games in 2026 than 2025, but just I didn't put on the list here. The Baltimore Orioles. I think they will win more games than last year, but that's still a very difficult division, and I just don't know how many. And I feel like these 5 teams can make a bigger jump. Um, and the Chicago White Sox as well, who won 60 games last year, who I think could be a 70-win baseball team this year, potentially. I do not think the White Sox will lose 100 games this year. So those are 2 teams that I thought were decent honorable mentions at the very least for teams that will win more games in 2026. All right, let's start with the ugly one here. Let's start with the layup. The Rockies are not going to be the worst team in baseball history this year in 2026. They won 43 games last season. They were the worst baseball team, or the second worst baseball team of all time, really, because the White Sox previously went, I think, 42 and 120 or something along those lines. The previous year, they went 18 and 23 in one-run baseball games. And I'm also looking at a couple projection sites for standings and stuff like that for 2026. Uh, Fangraphs has the Rockies projected at 66 and 96. Now, do I think they're going to win 23 more games than they did in 2026? Probably not, but that's a very generous projection for them there. And then Pacoda has them at 61 wins, which is still an 18-win jump. That's how bad they were. They can lose 100 games, and that is a 19-win improvement from year to year, which is absolutely insane. As for pieces, I liked some additions they've made in the offseason, where they got Edward Julian from Minnesota. They got Jake McCarthy from Arizona. A couple guys that I think can help themselves this year and maybe get flipped at the deadline. Their pitching is Jose Quintana and Michael Lorenzen and Tomoyuki Sugano with their additions to go with Dolander and Freeland in that lineup. This one was pretty simple. I'm not saying the Rockies are going to be good. I think they win 60 games this year, which is a massive, massive improvement than what it was last year. Let's go with another layup here. I feel like there's 3 layups in this video, and this is definitely one of them. The New York Mets will not be only 4 games above 500 in 2026. I think this team has the chance to win 88 to 90 games this regular season. They went 23 and 26 in one-run games, so I do think some positive regression will help the Mets this year. They go out, they add an ace in Freddie Peralta. Nolan McLean gets a full year. It's going to be interesting to see what Manaea and Senga do healthy, because they're actually coming into Senga came into spring training healthy last year. Manaea did not. So seeing Manaea get a full spring training will be nice, because I think that's why he struggled last year. Peterson, I think, could be okay. I like some of the additions they made offensively. Bo Bichette, Jorge Lopez. I really like the Luis Robert addition as well. Carson Bench has an opportunity to be to earn a starting job out of camp. I think Brett Beatty continues to break out as well. And look out for Francisco Alvarez this year. I think the Mets are an 88 to 90 win baseball team and compete for the National League East this year. Fangraphs has them at 88 and 74. Pacoda has them at 89.2 wins. So the Mets are a team that I think will upgrade this year, anywhere between 5 to 7 wins, potentially 10. I think that they could be one of the better teams in the National League this year. Let's go to a fun one here. The Pittsburgh Pirates. They've definitely made some moves in the offseason that make me like this team a little bit more on paper. They went 71 and 91 last year, so they definitely have some room for improvement. They were 25 and 35 in one-run games, which is not very good. Fangraphs has them projected at 82 and 80. Pacoda has them at 79.8 wins, which is anywhere between a 9 to 11 win upgrade in 2026 and in 2025. They did go out and they improved their starting lineup. They traded for Brendan Lau. They acquired Ryan O'Hearn and Marcelo Zuna. They also traded for the password from the Red Sox and then Jake Magnum as well. Their rotation is going to make them interesting this year. Jared Jones will hopefully be back sometime this season, which will go good with Paul Skenes, Mitch Keller, Braxton Ashcraft, and Bubba Chandler. I think when he comes back, Jared Jones kicks Urquidy out of that starting rotation. Their bullpen's okay, and this is a team that plays in a weak division in the NL Central, where I do think the Brewers take a step back. I could see the Cubs taking a step back, even though they did get Bregman. And I could see the Pirates being a better team this season and potentially hitting that 500 mark. I think they can win anywhere between 80 to 82 wins and maybe even flirt with a wild card spot potentially this year. This one's a tough one for me because I don't know what to think about this Atlanta Braves team because I wrote out all my stuff for this video yesterday, and then we get the news this morning that Waldrop is on the long-term IR as well, joining Spencer Schwellenbach and AJ Smith-Shawver, which makes this rotation very iffy for the Atlanta Braves. But they did win 76 games last year. This was a very much a down season for the Braves, and this is probably the most hesitant team that I have on this list. They went 21. They went 76 and 86 last year, 21 and 35 in one-run games. Fangraphs likes them 89 and 73. Pacoda likes them more 90 and a half wins. I do not think the Braves win 90 games. I do not think so. I think they're going to end up around that 85 mark, and compete in that National League East because I do think the Phillies take a step back. I don't think the Phillies are winning 96 games, and we'll talk about them in the next video. There's a little hint to the next video I'll be recording soon. There's 5 teams that'll lose more games in 2026 because these are 5 teams that'll win more games. But if this team can stay healthy, that's a huge if. The Braves can be okay in 2026. Ronald Acuna Jr., Matt Olson, Jurickson Profar, Rookie of the Year Drake Baldwin, Austin Riley, Mike Yastrzemski in that lineup. I kind of like Ozzie Albies, Michael Harris the second, and Mauricio Dubon. But they've already dealt with some injuries. Also on the IL is going to be Sean Murphy and Hassan Kim. Hassan Kim is going to miss a decent amount, if not all, the season because he just got hand surgery. This is a Braves team that could either win 75 games or 100 games. I just don't know which one it is. And in that rotation, Chris Sale, if he could stay healthy, it's a really solid pitcher there. Spencer Strider, he struggled last year off the Tommy John, so maybe you give him a full offseason. He could be good. Ronaldo Lopez, I do not believe in the slightest. Grant Holmes is a solid 5, and I don't want to see Bryce Hedler pitching if I'm a Braves fan for Atlanta there. So it's just really difficult. The Braves, I just don't trust the rotation right now. I don't trust 3 of the 5 arms in that rotation with Lopez, Holmes, and Edler. And that's saying Strider and Sales stay healthy and pitch well. So yes, the Braves are part of this video, and this could be a correct pick if they win 81 games and are a mid team. I don't think the Braves are an elite team like everybody else does. I really, really don't. The question is, are they good enough to be a 500 team? I think yes, but are they a true title contender like some of these projections have? Absolutely not. Final team on the list here are the Minnesota Twins, and I know people are going to look at me funny for this one here. They won 70 games in 2025, and I think they are a team that can positively regress. Now, once again, this is another team that Pablo Lopez is going to be on the IL this year, which sucks for them because, granted, I don't mind the rotation for a team that I'm asking to win more than 70 games in 2025. They went 70 and 92, 15 and 27 in one-run games. Fangraphs has them projected at 80 wins, 80 and 82. Pacoda has them at 79 wins, so that's anywhere between a 9 to 10 win improvement, which for this video, that's exactly what we're looking for. And this is a Twins team that, like, yeah, they traded away some of their guys last year. They traded away Griffin Jacks, Juan Duran. It felt like most of their bullpen they traded away. And their lineup, though, could be sneaky interesting. Byron Buxton, if he's healthy, could be amazing. I mean, I had him on my – did I have him on my first team or my third team for that? I'm trying to remember if I had – no, I didn't have him on – no, I had him on my first team, I think. Byron Buxton is my center fielder. No, that was PCA. I had him on a top 3 center fielder in all baseball, Byron Buxton. Luke Keyshaw could be interesting. Josh Bell, just a bat in the middle of the lineup with some power. Matt Wallner has plenty of power. Jeffers, Larnage, Royce Lewis has an incredible ceiling. Victor Carantini and Brooks Lee. I think this Twins team can be better than people think, and this is not a good division that they're playing in. Cleveland, I think, could take a step back. Detroit, I don't know what to think about Detroit. I think Detroit's a good team, but are they an elite team, or are they just AL Central good? The Kansas City Royals, are they an elite team, or are they AL Central good? So this Twins team could be, I think, sneaky better than people think. And ask them to win more than 70 games in 2026, I don't think is a huge stretch. So I think they're anywhere between 79 and 81 wins for this season. But that is the video for 5 teams that'll win more games in 2026. Let me know which teams you think down in the comment section below will win more games in 2026 than they did in 2025. And I'll also be doing a video on teams that'll lose more games in 2026. That'll be coming out probably within the next couple of days as well. But that's going to do it for this one. I want to thank you guys. Oh, my bad. The 5 teams. The Colorado Rockies, more than 43 wins in 2026. Yeah. The New York Mets, the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Atlanta Braves, and the Minnesota Twins. But that's going to do it for this one. I want to thank you guys as always for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.